So, in my previous video, when I was talking about abundance, the reason why abundance also needs for us to look into our health and the perspective shift on health and abundance is also needed because abundance is not simply about us or you. You is just the first step. It is the step of self care, and when we choose any line of work to gain wealth, it is only the first self care step of abundance, and where we are learning what do we like in our life, what kind of work we should pursue, what work suits our personality type. All these things determine what is our core values that will align with the work we do. If we reflect and think deeply in all this, develop self awareness, and we want to be independent financially, that's when we focus on just abundance related to the material life, some material possessions, or work glory, or what work will bring to us. But abundance is simply not about us. It's this 5 step process, which is similar to Maslow's theory as well, of what humans need as they evolve in life. So, in the first step, when we are poverty stricken, we have some financial difficulties. Maybe there were debts from our family, maybe our parents are not financially secure or working in jobs that pay them living wages. These are the reasons why you might be struggling, or might have seen your parents, grandparents struggling in life. But if they had mastered the self care aspect, mastered learning what kind of work aligns with them, they can bring abundance not simply materially in life when you are financially at a lower status than other people, but abundance also means bringing abundance about the happiness and joy you possess regarding whatever you have in life. So, if you have a small piece of land and you are a small business farmer and the poorest farmer in the neighborhood, you can still have abundance in other things. You can have abundance about having a quality of life with your spouse because you own a small land. You can start restructuring your thinking that instead of focusing too much on just simply doing a farming work, I will also focus on my family life. You can focus on love, you can focus on hobbies, you can do something else to improve your self care, to improve your perspective about why you're poor. And if you do that, or you can improve your perspective about life and whatever blessings or things that you think you don't have in life that is bringing you misery. Those things may not necessarily be something you actually need to lead a joyful life. That's why sometimes you don't need enough money, even though money can solve a lot of our problems. Sometimes money, more than money, what is needed is love, right attitude about life, understanding the blessings even in the difficulties. These are the phases of abundance. Each of us, irrespective of whether we are poor or rich, have to first understand about abundance if we want to evolve in life and and experience a more depth filled life. And what is the second level? The second level is regarding safety and security aspects of our life. So, if after earning enough money you start feeling secure about life, then, or if you start shifting your perspective that I have earned enough money for myself, I have done enough things professionally that is simply for myself, let's now focus on our family. So that's when you should focus on your immediate family, the pets and plants you have, the other dependents, financial dependents you may have at work. Like say you were a low-ranking worker in an office and now you are in a mid-level position. In the mid-level position of life, even in middle age of life, or when we are a middle class society in a particular country, we should start building our safety and security. We shouldn't still stay stuck in the old pattern of simply earning money because I don't have enough money. Because if you have indeed enough money and you are, say, in right in the middle salary range of whatever can give you happiness, like you are spending 50% of your salary, you have 50% of your salary still at hand, then you should have the security and safety that I am not poor. You should get away from the poor mindset. You should get away from starting penny pinching. You should try to slowly evolve from that mindset. Then, what is the next level? The next level is bringing the love, nurture, belonging, care in our lives from the work that we do. And that's where, if you are above the middle class earning level of any country, or even if you are in the middle class, you can start building this third level as well. Because if you have mastered self care, if you feel secure at whatever work you do, and you are financially in such a phase where you're not worrying about your money, and every step of this process, you can start just simply trusting God. If you trust God, each of these processes, each of these steps of evolution becomes more and more easy. Because if you're poor and you keep having this mindset that I'll always stay poor, you can and don't hold faith that poverty has some purpose for you, or that God is there with you while you're struggling in life, what will happen? You will have more darker experiences. Same with each of the other levels. If even if you don't feel secure because of some past trauma, family trauma, whatever reasons that are bringing the insecurity in your life, as you slowly start building that security, you can build that security by having the faith in God. You also build the security by giving security to your family, giving security to your dependents, giving security to your pets and plants. Because the more love you give, the more things you share, that is what comes back to you. That's why after you've mastered self-care, you should be mastering how to take care of others as well. And then after you have mastered taking care of the basic needs of others, which includes food, clothing, shelter, safety, security, after that, what is the third level? You bring in the love, nurture, and belonging in the relationship. And for men and women, if say the man is the only one earning, if he is working on the safety aspect of a relationship, the woman should be working on the love, nurture, and belonging aspect of the relationship. Or in the modern lives where both men and women are working, when you're focusing on love, nurture, belonging, safety, security, both partners could be doing that. Because what also we should be doing when we are building this loving, nurturing, belonging in society kind of a thing happening, or belonging in a family life, we start to belong not just to our immediate family of parents or children or spouse, but we also extend it. We extend our social circle. We bring in our social circle our other family members, who might be our grandparents, who might be our long distance cousins. They could also be our friends who are like our family, and they could be anyone else in our social circle who we randomly also meet sometimes, who can become like our family. It could be our colleagues, neighbors, and community. That's why if we join a community activity where everyone is doing yoga jointly together, or everyone is going to a religious place regularly for some community functions, or if you interact socially with your neighbors during your annual social functions, that builds the sense of belonging with each other, that builds a sense of nurturing, loving, and caring for each other. Because the more you know another person at a deeper level, the more you are, if you are a sorted, balanced individual, the more you should be capable of taking care of them, and they should be capable of taking care of you. And taking care doesn't mean that monetarily you have to take care. So that is where abundance stops being simply about money, and even more at this third level starts becoming about love or non-monetary aspects of abundance. Then the fourth level of abundance is once you've started taking care of many people in your life, taking care of yourself, you feel loved, they feel loved, you've brought safety and security in your life, your family and friends life, your dependents life, because again in the third aspect of nurture, belonging, love, you build that even in your workplace. So people who are in the higher level management, their responsibility of a social organization is to build this in their social organization, that how do you build the belonging to your organization. Because when you're at a lower level, lower ranks in a society, sometimes because of low pay, or sometimes because you may have a hard boss, or sometimes because you're learning new things, people don't belong. At that time they are in the survival phase. So the first two phases are related to even survival stages of our life. So when you are in the beginning survival stages of your life, or say even if you are secure in your in your work life, you might not be secure in your family life. You might be building a new family, you're just getting to become a parent, you're just getting to become a spouse, or your parents have started aging, so you've started becoming a little bit insecure about your parents' health. So you might be stuck in that level when you're in middle age, or when you're in middle level of any work environment in your 30s and 40s. So when you are in that phase, the ones who are older than you, who are 50 years old, 60 years old, who are your bosses, they're the part of Indian culture where age is respected comes into play. Because with age, most people should have a maturity of understanding this, about how to bring in a sense of belonging in the workplace, how to start caring for your work, how to even bring actually or value the loving, nurturing connections in your workplace. Because a good workplace environment simply isn't about everyone just excelling in the workplace environment, but it also is about making sure everyone feels secure, everyone feels like they belong there, everyone feels valued for the work they do, irrespective of the salary they have, irrespective of the minor scale work they are doing or the major scale work they are doing. So the mid-level management, slightly mid to higher level management of an organization, or the person who is the strongest in a family setting, they need to start thinking about extending this social circle. Or someone who's the strongest in a social circle, say you are in a big collective of work group doing something collectively together. At that time also, you can extend your social circle. Say if you're a housewife, how do you extend your social circle or extend your family? Is by interacting more with all your neighbors, bringing a community efforts and taking care of your societal needs, taking care in a way that is healthy, nourishing, nurturing for everyone. When we don't belong, we stop caring for a place, and that is how earth is also getting ruined, our earthly lives are getting ruined. That's why first bringing that sense of belonging within humans itself is very important. Then in the fourth step of life, where after you've done all these things, you feel a sense of belonging, you build on your self-esteem about what is your place in society, what is your place in life. And this is where slowly from the love and nurturing phases, especially in a family life, what I mentioned before, they seep into each other. You're evolving, right? So each stage is kind of slowly stepping into the other stage. So a boss who has created a sense of belonging for his employees, now his next level job of at a higher level is to build the self-esteem of everyone, make sure they are confident about the vision of the company, because companies also change tracks. After 10 years, 20 years in a company, sometimes employees get disenchanted from their work, because many structural and functional changes can happen to redirect the company towards a newer way of doing things. Because every 10-20 years, something in any field of work will shift. Likewise in our health also, and in our family life also, every 10-20 years major chunks of lifestyle changes also happen in our family as well. So building this self-esteem is necessary, not just in us but in our family life, in our work life. And how do you build the self-esteem? Now you start looking for your soul tribe. Who are the people who inspire you? Who are the people you can inspire? Who are the people who influence your way of outlook in life? Who can you inspire with the perspective you hold about life or the way you lead your life? These are the soul tribe people. And now the soul tribe people may not always be in your company. You will find the soul tribe outside of your company. You may not even find your soul tribe in your same profession. So recently I saw some videos where Prime Minister was honoring a businessman. Why? Even though politician has a different role in society and a businessman has a different role in society, but if that businessman becomes your soul tribe, or you become their soul tribe, what is happening? Now you're inspiring and influencing each other, and you can inspire and influence each other to do some collective work at the social level, at the societal level, at a hobby level, at a level where, because businessmen and politicians both have the power to influence social changes, at the social change level you can do something. You can if you're not as powerful as a businessman or a politician, but you are just average housewife, even then you can bring influence. There are so many housewives I've seen online recently who are doing some either business small business ventures together with another collective of women. So collectively they are doing something to bring change on earth. Like, or there are men who are doing, men and youth people are also building their soul tribe. Like, if the youth are waking to earth pollution, they are doing earth pollution related activities. If you're waking up to spirituality when you're in your 60s or 50s, you can start doing spiritual things together to bring us spiritual energy back on earth, where everyone can because spirituality doesn't simply mean spirituality of building your spiritual power, but spirituality also means bringing down that spiritual energy and helping others either learn about spirituality or helping others manage their spiritual needs, because some people are very unaware. Some people on earth, that's why those who, if you meet some people who are anxious, or if you meet some people who are very depressed, if you meet someone who is socially distraught because they've gone through a lot of abuse and trauma, so if you have built your self-esteem, you can then start also building other people's self-esteem, those who are in the stuck in the lower phases of life, those who aren't able to move from these lower phases of self-care, safety, to the higher phases of loving and nurturing others and building self-esteem of others. So your job, if you are doing a spiritual work, is to help those who are stuck in the lower 3 levels, or while building the self-esteem level work also. You can when you're meeting your soul tribe, what you might be good at spiritually, they might not be good at spiritually. So you help them with the place where their spiritual needs need to be met, and they help you where your spiritual needs need to be met. You teach them something, they teach you something. So the self-esteem level is, if you have good self-esteem, you will also end up collaborating more with others, understand how collaboration works, understand why collaboration is needed, because it then helps build a strong society, strong community, strong national life, or even strong international connections. And at the family level also, you can do that. When you are not working outside your home, you can build a strong family network. There are reasons why in my family I felt my grandfather was a very strong self-esteemed person who built a very good family life, because he was the connector of the family, and I felt because of him I came to know so many people in his family. Same way, in my other grandparents' life, even though they lived in a village where everyone actually lived within 1 hour distance of each other, half an hour distance of each other, they didn't build that strong family connection. They couldn't build it. They were close to each other, they would occasionally meet each other, but because they were going through the self-esteem issues, they were still struggling with safety and self-care related issues, they couldn't build themselves up to the self-esteem level. They were still struggling from moving from safety to the love, nurture, belonging aspect of life, because they were and this is another thing why we get stuck also in some levels, is say in India, say a average middle class person salary is from 50,000 to 2 lakh rupees or something currently. Now if you are earning 50,000 to 2 lakh rupees, it's not that bad a salary. In 50,000 to 2 lakhs, most Indians spend only about 30-40,000 in their food, clothing, then another 30-40,000 they might be spending on their children, but the rest of the money is still there with them. But some people, if they are in the 50,000 to 1 lakh range, still start getting fearful about their future and don't have confidence and faith in God that whatever they possess is enough, even though if their family might have come from a poverty setting. But if they don't clear that, or if they don't start building the loving, nurturing, belonging relationships, not simply within their family or whoever they know in their friend circle, but they don't extend it beyond that, then it is little harder to move to the self-esteem level, because you are not able to do it because you're again fearful. You're stuck in just whatever you are comfortable with. You're not ready to evolve and grow your network of friends, of colleagues, of social circle who you have grown up with. If you're afraid, or if you are fearful, or if you're anxious, or if you feel that whatever you possess is not enough, that's when it is a little difficult to move into self-esteem stages. But self-esteem is something everyone can build. It is not something you're just born with. Everyone feels insecure in life. Everyone feels lack of belonging sometime or the other. Everyone has had a hard life in this lifetime or in past lifetime where they didn't get love and nurture. Or you may have love and nurture in your life, but it may not be the way you want love and nurture to be. But self-esteem is that stage also where if you are not married, if you don't still have a strong, loving, nurturing connection, because despite not having some of these lower phases, you can still build your self-esteem, because that is what has happened to me. I had strong, loving connections, nurturing connections in some brief phases of my life, but I didn't have that in many other majority pocket phases of my life. But despite that, I built my self-esteem, because sometimes, again, like the second and third stage can be interchanged by men and women, sometimes the third and fourth stages can also interchange for some of us. These are the stages that get interchanged for whom people like me, who didn't have a loving childhood, who may not have had a loving adulthood connection with their spouses or partners, who got divorced or separated. Then at that time your sense of belonging and nurturing and love is distorted. But if you build your self-esteem first, if you build your social network first, if you focus on building your soul tribe and all these fourth dimensional aspect of things first, and stop focusing a little bit on loving, nurturing, belonging, or you do both of them simultaneously, then the third and fourth stages evolve simultaneously for us. Because if you are divorced, you have to build both your self-esteem, you have to also find back how to love yourself, you have to also find how to find someone with whom you belong. But instead of belonging to a family life, maybe you have to now belong to a soul tribe. That's why you faced a divorce. Maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend cheated on you because you have to focus on your kids. Maybe when you got divorced, instead of focusing on building a loving relationship with the new partner, first in that middle age of life, maybe you have to focus on your parents or your children or the pets and plants that you own, or building better health, because in middle age of life, many of us are also falling sicker. Many of us are not getting rest. So the divorce is actually a universe directed thing also for some people who need rest. There are some people who are constantly in a hamster wheel of just chasing either work or love, or work and love, and they are not able to rest and sit down and relax. So when we have some phases of grief because of either death, because of some endings in our life related to job loss, or because of endings in our life because of divorce or breakups with our partners, because our family moved away or our friends moved away, all of these rupture our sense of belonging, rupture our self-esteem. But these rupturing of our self-esteem or belonging, which is also called the tower moments of life, or sometimes people go through something called the dark night of the soul, because your soul is trying to wake you up to doing something differently. That's why something has broken down in your life, someone has passed away, someone has left your life, or you have to leave someone's life, because you have to explore some parts of your life journey by yourself. And in that exploration of doing, and it just doesn't mean that you're just by yourself as a lonely alone person, but you have to develop understanding about self. So you are given these stages of life where when you're in grief, you want to shut down, you don't want to interact with people when you're grief stricken, when you're depressed, when you are angry but you don't know how to manage your anger, or when you are having these thoughts where you know that if you talk to other humans, maybe you're waking up to some spiritual things, and that spiritual things are, some of them can be a dark experience. So if you speak to someone who doesn't understand that level of darker experience of spirituality, speaking with them will not build your self-esteem, it will diminish your self-esteem. They will not, instead of feeling like you're belonging to them, you will start feeling that they don't belong to you or you don't belong to them. And this is why when you're going through a dark night of the soul, or you're working through your self-esteem, or you're having a tower moment, these are the times you have to examine yourself. What did I do right and wrong in my life? What could I have done better in my life? What if I don't know how to do better? Who do I look to change that in my life? Because that is why you need a soul tribe. That is why you need to connect with strangers in social media. That is why you need to connect to people you may not have normally connected with if you were stuck in your normal family life or average work life or normal work life and family life. If you were just doing the same thing as everyone else, why do you think God has given you a different life than everyone else that you know? The difference in your life needs to build your self-esteem about the uniqueness about you, about the love and nurture that you can bring, maybe not to your family, but right now you have to bring it to strangers who are also as lost as you. Or you might have mastered your self-esteem and you are not lost anymore, but there are still other people who are struggling with losses. You have to help them. So because our life is also meant to be collaborative with other people. It is also meant to show love, nurture, belonging to others outside of who we knew when we were younger. That's why some dark, difficult moments and stages of life will strike us if we have to build a better self-esteem, if we have to build a better society, if we have to build a better community, national and international community. If that is your life purpose, then to drive you towards that life purpose, some darker experiences will manifest first to push you, to break out of you, to bring out of you that which is hidden in you, that you also didn't know that was hidden, or even if you knew it was there, you never showed it to the world. But when you are in darkness, when you are in pain, when you are in grief, when you are alone, it is also the time to connect to God at a more deeper level, because you are then searching for your soul purpose, life direction, and in that guidance with and connection to God and connection to your own self, because you also might feel disconnected from many people. So first disconnection happens to disconnect you from all the things that are wrong in your life, or that have gone wrong in your life without you realizing that they were going wrong. And then slowly the reconnection stages happen, and again some disconnection, reconnection might surface up. But these stages are also needed to build abundance of the social aspect of life, abundance of the loving aspects of life, abundance of related to understanding that life is not simply about money or social status or socioeconomic status or having a family life. Abundance is also about inner joy, inner peace, bringing happiness and joy to others, bringing happiness and joy of unconditional love to others. You unconditionally love a stranger. Most of us have that capacity to do that. We unconditionally also love our friends most of the time. Where is conditional love usually happening? When we are doing business, when we are doing work, when we are at a when we are with our spouses. At that time, sometimes that love becomes conditional. So if we want to develop a deeper kind of love, we have to also understand the unconditional aspects of love, where you're not expecting anything from another person. You're building it because you're building yourself. You're building it because you want to help others. You're building it because if you don't build, that the condition is not set by you. It's a universal condition. It is a condition needed for society and good quality civilization to emerge in any country, any state, any family, any work culture. If you wanted to build to a grander thing, then this fourth stage is also needed. After building your self-esteem, last phase is the self-actualization phase. And again, this third, fourth, fifth stages can also merge with each other. You can shift from third to fourth, fourth to fifth stage. You can again go back into lower self-esteem phases, a little disconnection from belonging. All these phases can happen again when you're in the mastering the self-actualization phase, because during the self-actualization stage, you have more or less build the first four stages with a firm foundation, but some of those foundations might still have some cracks building up, or there are some thought processes and patterns that don't align with where you really want to go. So where you really want to go and where you are might be a little different stage of life. As a result, either a stage of life, phase of life, place of life, place of people you are living with, all these things you have to examine in the self-actualization stage. And at that stage also, you will learn more deeply about why you had to go through some grief, why you had to go through some breakups, why some friendships broke away, why family life is not working for you as greatly as it used to work 10 years back, 5 years back, why are you feeling so lost. Again, self-actualization stage also requires a deeper connection with God, deeper spiritual understanding of many things of life, while in the self-esteem stages, you are building yourself by destroying all that is negative in you. But in the self-actualization in your life, or that you felt was not conducive to building what you wanted to build in your life, and as a result, you have realized in the self-esteem stages that what needs to shift and change. Whereas in the self-actualization stage, you will also start understanding certain things maybe don't need to shift and change. What you considered as a flaw, while it may be a flaw, say in majority of your interactions, there are still going to be certain interactions where you have to, even what is considered as a flaw generally by you or society might be needed. Like, say people don't like anger, anxiety, depression, all these qualities we don't like, we want to get away from it. But anger, anxiety, hatred, depression, they all have a purpose. If I was depressed, when I was depressed, I was less motivated. When I was depressed and less motivated, I also didn't indulge and engage in activities which other people my age were indulging and engaging in. And those activities, if I had engaged in, they would not have helped me build my self-esteem. They would also not have helped me build my spirituality. So, in being depressed, I was prevented from doing certain things. I stopped myself from going certain places where otherwise, because friends are going and I am the either the people pleaser kind, or the kind who just goes along many a times with people when they ask me to go somewhere, I have gone with them. But after going there, I realized this is not my thing. So when you are in the self-esteem phase, you understand what is your thing, what is not your thing. But when you are in the self-actualization phase, you also understand that the negative things that happened to you prevented you also from saying no to things, because even if you at that time were capable of saying yes, if you hadn't been depressed, that thing was the wrong thing for you to pursue. Like, I do not like very noisy parties, very large social groups. I like interacting more at a one-on-one level with people. It's not that I don't like talking with a large group of people. That I enjoy. Because when I did my business MBA course, and there we had to interact with other people in different social settings, or present to different people in different social settings, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy talking. That's why I'm making these videos. I enjoy talking. I enjoy giving information, getting information from people, learning from people. But what I don't enjoy is mass scale people doing some group activities I like, but even then, in those group activities, it has to be a group of maybe 10, 20, 30 people. I can't like those, the politician level people, how they interact with millions of people. It will completely drain my energy. So, hence my depression. If I am depressed, am I ever going to try to go to a mass scale rally or a large music function? Like people are crazy fans of Nick Jonas or any other Beatles or whatever fans you are of. I wouldn't enjoy going to those concerts where thousands and 100,000 people are there in those concerts of those people, even though I am their fan. For me, my fandom is happy enjoying their music on YouTube or buying and downloading their music. I am not happy going to a large concert with a group of so many people. Like, I get a sensory overload. Why do I get that sensory overload? Because I am empathetic, I can tune into many people's energies. And unless I understand how, and that happens automatically to them, me. So if those people have darker energies in them, I will start tuning in into that, and that causes energy drain for me. So the depression was a mechanism for me to never try to pursue going also to those concerts. I have all my life gone only one Yanni concert. There also Yanni's music is something which is calming music. That's why I went to that concert. Even in that concert, it was in a smaller city. It was not in a larger city like Mumbai. Hence the population also who went to that concert. First, because it's a mellowed down music, the population is mellowed down like me. But the second thing is, the number of people enjoying that music were also less. They were only maybe 1,000 people in there. Whereas if you go to a Nick Jonas or really popular person's concert, there's going to be 100,000 people. And that 100,000 people is too much of a crowd for me. So understanding that even the depression has a purpose. Even if I was not depressed, say I was heartbroken because I broke up with someone, again that is preventing me from doing social activities where my energy would go away, or I would completely like go somewhere where some people are too wild for me. I don't want to interact with those wilder people because I don't want to explore the wild side of life. There are people who need that wild side of life exploration, but I don't need that too. I have already too much survival related problems in my life. So my wild side of life experience or dark side of life experience comes from the darkness already that is present in my life. Those who seek this darkness by doing wilder things, they seek the darkness by chasing that because they have had a very comfortable life. So too much comfort also causes someone to go towards exploring all these darker things, wilder things, adrenaline rush chasing things. Whereas for people who have abused childhood, neglectful childhood, lonely life phases, you don't want to chase that because you are already struggling. Your body is already actually in a phase where chasing adrenaline would bring you into a shock, because you're in a survival kind of mode, you're in a stressed out mode. It has taken me many years, and that's why I was depressed as well, because the stress I was feeling inside because of emotional issues was manifesting outside as a depression. And until I started solving the causes of my trauma and stress, I can't get out of depression. There are phases when I have completely gone out of depression because I had mild level stress, moderate level, manageable stress by simply doing exercise, by simply doing meditation, by doing a combination of exercise and meditation phases. But right now I am in such a phase of life where simply meditation and simply exercise doesn't help with that level of stress that I'm experiencing from a disease, that I'm experiencing from past traumas and present traumas that I hadn't realized were hidden in my life, but now it's coming to the forefront because I'm in the self-esteem, self-actualization kind and belonging. I'm exploring all these phases to figure out why did I feel a lack of belonging in certain places. Why do certain people seem to make me feel as if my self-esteem goes low? Why, when self-actualizing, what happens is I also understand those who have made me also feel low in my life or depressed in my life or have traumatized and abused me via certain ways they lead life. it has conversely brought what out of me? The self esteem. Because as a result of someone in my personal life not being nicer to me, maybe in personal life I'm not that great in a personal one-on-one relationship, but I'm great with one-on-one relationships outside the family life for some reason. Because I think it's like a complementary thing. I will talk about this topic about myself and about people who go through these experiences in a different video. But what I want to make people realize is, if you are after self esteem has been built well within yourself, and you have collaborated with other people in your soul tribe, and made deeper social, community, national or work connections, then at the self actualization stage you need to come to that level to have a bigger perspective of why we are on earth, bigger perspective of all the lighter and darker things you experienced in life. And with that bigger perspective, then you will also start seeing how it impacts planetary life forms, earth, how it impacts all of us on earth, how some people who are at the spiritual level, they know that they have to build the grid system on earth of the new earth grid, the new earth grid that will help in bringing the new earth's light energy on earth. But you can't build that grid until you have worked on these first four quite well. And also, while building the grid, you will also realize where the grid is going wrong, and where what we consider as light could be false light, and where what we considered as darkness was actually false darkness also. Meaning, if someone is mildly abusive to you and they just chided you in your childhood or at your workplace or in your relationship, when we are immature, when we don't have self-esteem, when we don't feel a sense of belonging, we will think those as a negative experience, or be sensitive to someone saying something that seems negative, a criticism that seems like a criticism, and most people are not able to take a criticism in the right way. But if you delve deeper into criticism, some criticisms are necessary, because without that criticism you wouldn't be the person you are. Like, if people didn't criticize me for being less beautiful than certain cousins of mine, would I focus on certain aspects of beauty? But because they criticized me, what happened in me was, okay, first I felt a little low self-esteem, but later on I also realized I don't want to compete with my cousins. I love them how they are. I love how they are unique. I am unique. So I had enough self-esteem to realize that even if I am a particular height, weight, color, skin color, whatever range it is, at first, when I had low self-esteem, I was trying to compete with those who are more beautiful than me, who are thinner than me, who are taller than me. But then I realized, why did God make me fatter? Why did God make me darker or mid-level in skin color? Why did God make me a particular dress size? Why did I have fat in certain areas? Why they don't have those fats? Why am I not able to be as beautiful as them? And I realized, where they want to focus their energy, I do not want to focus my energy there. I do not want to focus my energy on becoming thinner, if instead at that time I can pursue a work thing, or instead of that I can pursue a personal life goal or a social life goal. So my focus, so those people who sometimes feel very sad about being fat or not as beautiful as someone else, there is a purpose to that. That also, people, if you have good self-esteem and if you are in the self-actualization stage, you'll understand that you are just perfect the way you are. You don't have to, if you can, losing weight, if you are getting obese or overweight, will impact your health. So, but you shouldn't lose weight simply because you want to make yourself comparable to someone. You should lose weight because it's healthy for you, and if you lose weight in the healthy manner, then only weight loss stays. If we lose weight in a very unhealthy manner, eventually it has an impact on our physical health, which again impacts our abundance. Same way with men. If it's not just about beauty for men it is like men start thinking, why don't I have a beautiful wife or beautiful life, or if I earn more money I will get a better quality wife. But money has got nothing to do with you having a better quality personal life, social life, professional life. Money is just one tool. So if you are a crorepati, or if you are a millionaire, and if you are a millionaire and billionaire both have equal potential to attract a good woman or a bad woman, depending on what perspective you hold in life, what spiritual things you're doing in life, how. And spirituality doesn't mean just praying to God or connecting to the universe. For a person who is a workaholic or whose passion is earning money, for them spirituality is how do you and self-actualization and self-esteem should be about how to best utilize the resources that you have built in your life. If you've built $1 million empire, how do you best use it to for social good, national good, international good, for planetary good? The ones who are in the top 1% or 10% of society have to think at the planetary level, planetary health level, and global health level. The ones really global health level, because abundance is about health as well. Wealth is not equal to health, but health is equal to wealth. So even though I may be not as rich as a millionaire or billionaire, I have the tools to have a better quality health. Of course, if I meet a millionaire or a billionaire, how their money, or if I ever become a millionaire or billionaire, how that money will help me will be dependent on how good I use my knowledge and wisdom towards better health and wealth. So this is what the persons at the higher level of society, who are the top 10, 20, 30% of society of any nation, have to start thinking how to use their, that is where they become self-actualized. How to use what you have been blessed or what you earned over 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, who they were done by hard work, but they were also done because there were so many people willing to work hard for you. And now it is your time to work hard for them by giving back to the society that which they gave to you. Because they did. If they hadn't worked hard, if they hadn't asked you for a pay hike, you wouldn't have those millions and billions in your bank account. So maybe it is time for you to give some better salaries to the lower income workers in your company. Maybe it is time to start building, even if you don't give better salary, if you give them good quality housing, better quality health, better. And earlier, 10 years back, 50 years back, many countries decided that to give better quality health to people, what is needed is medical care, medical insurance, a payment for system where free health, free insurance could be given to people. But what people don't understand is medical care and medical health is needed only by someone who is in the last stage of life, or who is really whose body has really gone wrong in many ways. That's when you get hospitalized. That's when, and that's also very true by the studies done in healthcare, that in the end stages of life of healthcare, in the last 20 years of our life, we can spend more on healthcare costs than in the previous 70, 80 years of our life. But why? Because if you will end up, that why people haven't studied yet, this is my intuitive knowledge about it, because I really went to a phase where I might have died. That is what I felt in the last few years. And after going through that near death stages, I realized that death, and I could have at that near death stage spent a lot of money on my health, and I did spend a lot of money on my health. But instead of pursuing spending money on health via the medical system, even though I am a healthcare professional, I actually use my healthcare knowledge to keep myself a little bit in better quality health. But more than that, I realized that what diseases I was getting was happening from pollution on earth. As a result, I was trying to figure out places on earth where pollution is limited, pollution is less, and if I couldn't find those places, why pollution is more, or why pollution is impacting from that area my individual health. And not just my individual health, because it's not that the pollution just impacts my health, it's just that I was in near death stages. That's why it was impacting my health more than the same person who lives in that locality. But for them, if they are not in the near the end of life stage, the pollution is impacting their health at a less strenuous degree than it is impacting my health. But it will eventually have an impact on their health 5 years, 10 years down the line, if they don't curb the pollution in that area. So if you have true abundance, you will start caretaking of your planet Even when you are a poor person, you don't have to start taking care of planet in the right ways when you are rich. You can do it when you're poor, when you're middle class, when you're rich. The richer just have a wider influence of doing it. The popular person has a wider range of people they can influence to bring this change. But the person who's not rich, the person who's not popular, the person who has only a small piece of land or a small home, they can still build life supporting, caretaking things in their own life, health supporting things in their own individual small piece of land. Like, I went and lived in some homestays, those homestays as well as some hotels while traveling. Now both homestays and hotels are doing many earth unsupportive activities, not just earth, health unsupportive activities. As a result, they have higher water pollution in those areas, they have higher air pollution in those areas, because they are not understanding the impact of air and water pollution in their own business work, as well as in the health of the employees of that place. Same way with any business, any line of work, if you don't do the right practices, you bring in more diseases in your line of work than you prevent the diseases. If you were doing earth aligned work, if you were doing health aligned work, the same work that you do, if two companies are there, one which does health aligned, earth aligned, responsible, socially responsible, physically health responsible, emotional health responsible, financial health responsible work, because abundance is of 5 levels. There is physical health, mental health, emotional health, financial health, and spiritual health related abundance, as well as global health related abundance. Now the more aligned you are in all these aspects of abundance and health, then you have the capacity to keep continuing building that abundance, because every level of abundance is at the higher level. So you have more potential to do better things. Whereas if one or two of them are in very low scale, where people are not focusing on emotional health, or in society that is what has happened. The reason why many people are depressed or anxious or having financial problems, because we haven't focused deeply as a society on how to build the right abundance to solve the financial problems, solve the physical health problems, solve the emotional and mental health problems, or even the spiritual level problems. Because we didn't do that deep diving, majority of society is grieving and are not understanding abundance in either one or multiple of these levels. And as a result of that, the quality of life that we have and the quality of work that is produced in our life is not as health supportive. Or that's why from middle age onwards, many of us are starting to have health issues. It could be health issues related to family life, where it leads to divorce. It could be someone who is single, they will still have health issues related to connecting with society, belonging in society. That's why many people start traveling a lot, even if they have family, even if they are single, because they are not getting that sense of belonging and nurture and true love and deep love from whoever they know or wherever they have lived, or they don't have right systems of health in where they live. That's why they are also searching, where do I find my better source of health? Because source of health, some of it definitely comes from within us, some of it also comes from God. God can pour love into our heart. God can bring motivation and support in our life. We can self-motivate ourselves. We can self-cultivate some habits which will bring some sense of nurture, care, belonging, safety in our life. But majority of the things related to self-esteem, self-actualization, and belonging and love just doesn't simply need the individual, independent aspect of living. It needs interdependence, collaboration, and collectively taking care of each other. That mindset is needed for people to truly belong on earth, people to truly belong in a family, people to truly belong in any company, people to truly build beautiful self-esteem about themselves. Because can you build your self-esteem simply by saying, I am good at this subject and that's why I am great at it? No. To build self-esteem, yes, you have to be self-confident, self-assured, independent. Everything is needed. But you also conversely need the dual opposite aspect, which is people who appreciate you for the work you do. And if we appreciate, and that appreciation doesn't have to come via praises, it doesn't have to come via money always. Sometimes it is praises, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's simply loving what someone else is doing. You got to just simply love it, and you can't simply love what someone else is doing if they don't simply love what you are doing in some ways. So that's why it is important, if we want to build a collaboration with someone, if I don't admire you for the work you're doing, you don't admire and respect you for what you're doing, you don't admire and respect me for what I am doing, can I build a collaboration with you? No. But if I don't build the collaboration, if you and I don't together do some collaborative work, what is going to happen? We can't have a well structured, well knit, well built, strong society, strong healthy earth, strong healthy community, strong healthy life or lifestyle. And which is where, because our earth was failing, we got the pandemic. Now, if we don't want to globally fail as a society of humans living on earth, we have to realize we have to take care of all planetary life forms. We have to take care of everyone on earth. It doesn't matter what level work they do, what socio-economic status they hold, whether they are married, whether they are single, whether they are sick, whether they are healthy. Everyone's concerns have to be taken globally. When you are able to do that, that is when you are in the self-actualization stage. And you don't have to go to the self-actualization stage, but you have to slowly build towards it, because all of us are in a process of something called ascension. And ascension is building slowly from the self-care, safety, independence lifestyle to becoming interdependent, which is the third level of ascension. Then the fourth level of ascension is to building collaboration, and the fifth level of ascension is globally creating a beautiful earth that is not currently existing, globally creating a healthy, safer, secure, and a earth where everyone belongs, where the needs of the unhealthy as well as the healthy are taken care of, where the healthy understand that the unhealthy exist in society, so that they can show where the earth is going wrong, where systems on earth are going wrong. Because if you stop taking care of the sick and the weak and the women, or someone who is weaker than you in some, emotionally weaker, physically weaker, mentally weaker, financially weaker, whichever aspect someone is weaker than you, less abundant than you, when you don't take care of them, you're at that point in a frame of mind where you're failing to actually take care of your own future health needs. Because when a poor person is there in your family, or a sick person is there in your family, looking at the sick person, you realize what needed to be done before they died or after they died. You could have done a self-reflection to realize what better care could have happened for them. That's how you develop better care with your loved ones in the next phases of life. And which is what happened to me. I'm great with healthcare because I have seen many people die in my family. I'm also great with self-care because as a result of those deaths of really the caretaking, nurturing people in my family, I didn't have nurture and caretaking in my family life for a long time. But I have built what is needed, or I have at least understood, even if I can't build it by myself, because I can't build it by myself. So all I have built is in my own life what I can do to build that nurture and sense of belonging or collaboration with people. But now, that is where I have realized that you also need the other side of the equation. In order to build, you need another person to build with you. If you just build your own tower, which is what many of us have done, we have built our own tower of money, own tower of individuality, own tower of just self-improvement. Many people do that nowadays. But that is where you are, because you've only built yourself, you've not learned how to build others, or not as deeply you have learned to build others. You might have built another person as your spouse a little bit, or you've supported them in some ways, but you've not done it at a deeper level. But if you don't do it at a deeper level, then your children also don't learn from you. They are also becoming, as a result, some modern children are very selfish. They're very self-involved. They don't take care of other people. They're just looking at their own needs. And many children are also, as a result, deciding, I don't want to get married. it is okay. Globally some children have to do that because our population also needs to be controlled. So this is God's way of controlling the population. You can't simply have, currently many people do have even now 10-20 kids or 5-10 kids, but globally majority of the other people have to stop having that many kids. People have to have only maybe 1 or 2 kids. And the way to stop it is, if people don't realize that they are lonely when they are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they get married after 50s, and then maybe they have their own kid or they adopt a kid, which is needed in society, because that is where their self-actualization, self-esteem will come into play, or their sense of love and belonging will come into play. And until the time, so every time society starts going wrong, God knows how to correct the society by putting people in harder situations for them to realize eventually in a later stage in life what went wrong in their life. So many of us who awakened, there are people who awakened 10-20 years back when many things went wrong in their life, or some things went wrong in their life, and they realized it sooner. But there are others whose breakdown of life phases might happen in their 30s, 40s. And in those, sorry, I thought that this video ended, but in those 30s, 40s, when our breakdown is happening, or 50s, 60s when it is happening, it is because something needs to be rebuilt, restructured, redirected, changed, or shifted. So where that shift is required is something people have to realize. And something, if you are not realizing, there are people who have already mastered some of these levels and becomes teachers, or are in the process of becoming teachers, guides, therapists, healers. And you have to learn to go to the right healer now. If you are at a spiritual level of ascension, if you are at a therapy level of ascension, where it is more about emotional and mental health therapy than about physical health needs, which a doctor provides for, or any other healthcare provider provides for. But not many are just stuck in the physical health aspects of life, physical health aspects of manifesting finances and abundance. Now we are also have to ascend to the spiritual aspects, mental and emotional aspects of better quality health and better quality life, because those are also abundance paradigms. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please drop a comment. Thank you.